All right, let me in fact also take that to Group Captain Jha. Group Captain Jha, your quick comment on this feat achieved by Agnikul, what you made of this test, what its ramifications really are for the sector as a whole.
Well, the compliments to the Agnikul Cosmos. It's a good achievement, I would say. But I'll stick rather to the subject of the electric motors. It's a very good thing, and it is not a new concept that something is being developed now. It has been for a very long time. What happens when you have either the solid fuel or the liquid fuel or the cryogenic? The amount of thrust generated is usually uniform. You only have the option to cut it off or switch it on at times, but the thrust remains usually identical. What happens here in this electric motor is that you can throttle. You can keep at 25%, 30%, 50%, 75%, 90%, or you can go to 100%. So amount of thrust that is required that you can regulate by yourself. It has got its own advantage. However, when either you mentioned or Mr. Satya mentioned that it is similar to the lines of SpaceX, I'll be slightly careful in saying that SpaceX, like their Starship, has got 32 motors, and even if 4 or 5 or 6 doesn't lit up or doesn't work, that we have seen it happening, thrust is by and large maintained. They are able to continue going up. But in a smaller rocket, if you have got 2 or 3 engines, and if one doesn't work, then you don't get the thrust. I'm not very sure whether he would like to send the entire rocket, the SLV, from here on the electric motor. Usually these electric motors are very useful placed within the satellite. When we place the satellite into the LEO, especially LEO, then over a time there's a decay in the velocity. And when that decay in the velocity happens, satellite tends to fall lower in the orbit. So to boost it up, you accelerate, you burn the motor, and you bring it back to the desired orbit where it was there. So this is one of the greatest thing that is required for the satellite to be maintained in the same orbit over a longer period of time. Note that it is not happening. All the satellites that is in the LEO right now have that provisions to boost it their velocity and bring it back to the original injected orbit. But here what happens, if you have a choice to regulate the thrust, then it is much more beneficial. You are much less likely to warm up your engine. You can regulate the entire thing in the way that you want. Not that if it is say 10 point or usually 4.8 kilo newtons is the one what usually they generate, most of them. But in case if you have a throttle, if you've got an electric engine, you intend to generate only a small amount of thrust, and that you can generate for a desired seconds of the period that is there. So compliments. It's a very good step, and I'm happy that he has got it patented. Agnikul had earlier also, I think it was 2022, just about 3 years back, that they had tried a similar thing with the semi-cryogenic engine setup with the liquid oxygen, but with the ATF, they had tried it up there. So everything in the space that is new is always praiseworthy, and these many people who are in the private agency, and they have dared to dream a big. It is a giant step for them, and this may be it's a good invention. Maybe that some other companies also either borrow or hire or purchase this particular type of engine from Agnikul. So it has got a bright future towards. I only wish Professor Satya a very good luck in the future, and wish you many more feat like this. This is surely something new that ISRO is usually not having such sort of approach. This is a new approach in that area, though technology is not new. He might have adapted a new thought process of having a slightly modified technology, what has been there for the decades. So compliments all the way.
PK Ghosh, what is your take on what makes this, this test result successful?